So this is a T7 that I put together. I guess I'm going to try stadium truck racing next and see if I like it more than the buggy racing, because I have this Xray here, XB2C, and I'll go over later in this video why I want to get away from Xray. So I'm not sure if I want to get out of two-wheel drive buggy yet, but I'm going to pick one and just run either stadium truck or buggy from here on out. So for a while, I like to just stick with one car so I can get more used to it. But the main reason too I thought about going to stadium truck is because most of the guys that are sponsored and the fast guys at the track are running buggies as their main car. Like they have stadium trucks, a lot of them, but they focus most of their attention and spend most of their practice days, I noticed, driving their buggies versus their stadium truck. So I'm thinking if I get the stadium truck and just drive that all the time, I could probably be closer to being competitive with them versus the buggy class 17.5 Expert, which is what I'll be running with this thing here. 17.5 Expert, it's a really fast class, and there's a lot of sponsored good people in that class and stuff. So I'm about a second to 3/4 of a second at the fastest off their fastest lap time, so I'm not quite there yet with this. So I'm thinking a stadium truck might be something that I can get closer to their times with. But anyway, I'll go over the truck here quick. It's a T7, which is the newest Team Associated build, and they have buggy shocks now and buggy shock towers. This isn't the actual ride height of this thing because the electronics aren't in it yet. But I'll pull the body off here. I'm going to end up putting the electronics out of the buggy into it. And then I do have a 13.5 motor in case I wanted to do 13.5 in the stadium truck eventually. But these clips are hard to get out one-handed. That one flew pretty far. This body fits tight. But the body is a J Concepts finisher body. Oh, I forgot I put a little Velcro on it. So yeah, I put some Velcro on the sides of the chassis there and on the body just to help make the body last a little longer and stuff. Find that clip, there it is. So basically, so far, it's just a stock T7, straight out of the kit. Instructions, has sway bars from the factory. That's kind of why I went with this kit over the 22 XT. The buggy shocks and towers plus the sway bars. I'm not sure if the XT has buggy shocks and towers on it now, but it does sit pretty low, so it might. But that's basically the chassis of the truck. I put a gear diff in it, so it's set up for carpet. And I did the fuzz blights in the rear, the swaggers on the front. So that's how that's set up right now. The electronics will be Tekin Pro 17.5 G4 or whatever's in my buggy. I forget. It's the newest Tekin 17.5 motor. And then it's the newest Tekin speed control. It's a Pro or something. But that'll be in it. And then I have a ProTech 160 TBL servo in it. But out of the kit, I mean, these kits go together good. These instructions on the Team Associated are better than the Xray instructions, in my opinion. The Xray instructions are a little bit confusing sometimes and stuff, because they do carpet and dirt on the same book. So I don't know. It was a little confusing how they had them, but this was just all one setup. But they did have some tips in there for carpet and stuff like that. But anyway, the truck itself went together really nice. I would say, if anything, it went together just a little smoother than the Xray kit. The Xray kit went together pretty good too, but the main reason I want to get away from Xray, I'll go over quick while we're talking about this, is while we're talking about the truck, because the parts on this, say I broke 3 arms on that thing. So say you had to buy 1 arm for this, you can buy a full set of 4 arms, all 4 of them, for 25 bucks, shipped for 26 bucks. That car there on eBay, 1 arm is over $20 shipped. So every time I break an arm, it's like 20 bucks on that thing. This thing I could break all 4 arms for 26 bucks, which I could have ordered. I could have so many extra arms right now if I would have had this. But that's just arms alone. Just there's no aftermarket support really for the X-rays. That's a 26 XB2C carpet, and the parts, the Huddy parts, like the bell cranks for the steering, I have the Huddy ones on it. Well, I had them, and I have the Huddy rack, and I wrecked it the other week, and I snapped a bell crank arm in half. They're cast aluminum. They're not even machined aluminum or anything. You're paying 50 bucks for 2 little tiny bell crank arms for the steering, and they're not even billet, like machined aluminum. They're cast. So the Huddy parts are kind of a joke in my opinion. Like, if I'm paying 50 bucks for 2 little bell cranks that are like tiny, they should be machined billet, like really good aluminum parts that aren't going to break. That's the whole reason I went with them solid parts there in that buggy. In the steering, well, for one, you needed to do it to move the servo the whole way forward because it has different mounts. And to move the forward servo the whole way forward, you had to do the Huddy rack to get the clearance. So that's what I originally did. So I just did all Huddy aluminum steering. Figured, that'll last probably the lifetime of the car till I sell it without ever having any breakages at the track and having to like pull that, apart or whatever at the track. Because in my opinion, I haven't been doing this that long, but if I had to pick between breaking an arm off the car and just having to replace one A-arm, or having to replace the steering there and having to tear the whole front of the car apart at the track, I would rather just have to replace arm. So basically, I set my cars up to where the arms break and everything else is solid, basically. Because, I don't know, I just feel like that's the best way. I've wrecked that thing enough to know that you can break the arm and nothing else if it's set up to just break the arms. And that thing is, even this lower arm mount here, see I have the Xray front turnbuckle mount thing there, I forget what you call that. And then I have the aluminum mount for the arms in the middle here too. That was plastic. I broke that like the first time out too. So I've broken a lot of parts on this car. It's a good car, and it handles good and everything. I'm running 11.6s with it at the track, and the fastest guys there that have been doing this for decades are only running 1 second to about 3/4 of a second in that range, like 3/4 of a second to 1 second area faster than I'm running fastest lap of the day times. They were consistently running faster times every lap, but my fastest time of the day versus their fastest time of the day is usually within 1 second, which I've been doing this just this season. I only started out. I think I'm on my 11th practice day or something. Might be on my 9th practice day actually with that, because I had a 4-wheel drive buggy and I ran that for 2 practice days. And then I got the 2-wheel drive buggy here and built it. And then I've been running that ever since. So I think I'm on my 9th practice. This next one will be my 10th. But so far I've done 9 practice days with that. And each practice day I run about 5 batteries through it. So I don't know. I'm running a FlySky GT5 $60 radio, which a lot of the sponsored guys are saying that's what's holding me back from getting faster. But I'm going to keep running it because I'm not really trying to spend 300 bucks on a radio right now. So I'd like to figure out what class and car I want to stick with long term here for next season, and then go into the season. I have enough time this season. Say if I do switch the stadium truck, I can get the stadium truck fully dialed in, driving perfect, and then over the summer I'll throw a couple bucks at it and get a couple little hop-up parts for it, like titanium turnbuckles and some aluminum steering stuff so it's solid and stuff, and get some extra tires and wheels put aside for it and stuff for the season. And then I'll come into the season next year ready to go. And I drove this guy's T6.4 stadium truck. That's what originally kicked me off on the stadium, got me on the stadium truck driving. I drove his 6.4 that was set up. He bought it from a guy out west, and it was set up really good. And that thing handled good. I'm pretty sure I didn't have a lap timer in it or anything, but I'm pretty sure I was running faster laps. Not faster, but as fast as laps with that right off the bat in the first 10, 15 laps of driving it. I was running that for 8 practice days or 7 practice days at that time. I think I probably ran a low 12 with that thing easily. I was getting around the track pretty fast. So I'm thinking that this truck here with the, I might have to put the 13.5 motor in. I'm not sure. I have to see how fast it is with the 17.5 being it's bigger and heavier. But I have a 13.5 Tekin motor that was in my four-wheel drive buggy, because I took my four-wheel drive buggy electronics out, sold it as a roller, and then put the electronics in that. So that was a 13.5 at first for the first like probably 5 practice days too. So that screwed me up because it was so fast I could barely keep it on the track. But anyway, this is what I'm going to do though. I'm going to take this to the track this Friday. I'm going to run it, and if I can get into like a low 12 high 11 with it pretty easily the first time out the track, which seems like a lot to ask out of it considering people are only getting the fastest buggy guys there are running like high 10s. So if I can get like a high 11 to low 12 out of it first time at the track, I'll probably, and I like the way it drives, I'll probably just sell the Xray and keep this. And even if I do keep the Xray for next season, I might end up switching to a different brand. I mean, even if I do stick to buggy and get rid of the stadium truck because I don't like it, I'm probably still gonna get rid of the Xray and switch to like a B7.1 or a 22X or something like that in the future, just because the Xray is just, it's expensive to run it. You don't realize like the kit itself is like $50 more, and you're like, oh, it's only $50. And then you buy all the parts you keep breaking, and you start spending like $30 to $50 to $60 $70 a week on breaking parts and just keeping the thing running. It's crazy. That thing's expensive. I mean, this isn't a cheap hobby anymore really, but one car is manageable. But man, that Xray is just getting salty to run. I mean, I think I could have probably had I don't know, at this point I probably have like, I would have 3 whole sets at least of A-arms for this. So I'd only be missing 3 A-arms out of 3 whole sets. I'd have that many spares. So it's just something to think about getting into it. I mean, the Xray is nice and everything, and it's pretty good out of the box. I made a couple changes to it. I think I went over in the video. But, I mean, it's pretty good, but I like it. It's just, like I said, I could keep it at this point because I'm pretty invested into it, and I have a lot of spare parts. But still, I might end up just getting out of it just because of the sake of every time you break one arm on it. Like last time at the track, I broke a rear left arm, and I just looked on eBay, and with shipping and everything, it was like $20-some, almost $25. But that stadium truck just sits cool. It's like so low and wide. I feel like it's gonna be nice. The buggy's low too, but this paint job got a little weird too. It wasn't supposed to have like that root beer brown color there. It was supposed to be, I shouldn't have oversprayed the purple like I did, because when I did that and then sprayed the yellow, it turned brown. That was stupid. I should have just painted it yellow, and it would have had a clear dividing line. And then I could have just did the white and purple at the back. I kind of like the back like that, with like the cotton candy looking, like cotton candy look to it, kind of. I don't know how you explain that. It looks like a cloud almost. But that's kind of cool. But the brown is like, I don't like that. But it looks pretty cool. It's the first body, and I'm sure I don't want to mess the body up on it. These practice days at this track I'm running, the factory RC Raceway in York, they're vicious, man. Like, I'm going through a back wing on the buggy every practice day. Guys are going through a back wing on their trucks. The body on the buggies probably lasts about 3 practice days, and it'll be split somewhere or cracked somewhere. And the front wings last like a practice day or less. It's bad. I finally found a set of tires that lasted. I went with these 3DPs, and they're actually pretty nice. They actually hold up. These are on their 2nd or 3rd practice day, and they're pretty good. I was going through a set of Fuzzbite tires every practice day, and I was like, by the time I bought tires and then broke apart on it and then paid to get in the $10, I mean, you're at like, $50, $60 a week just to practice with this thing. So it's just getting ridiculous. I'm trying to minimize it down to just the $10 a week to run, and that's it. Like, the rest of the parts hopefully have on hand, extra arms and stuff. I mean, I get you're gonna break stuff and everything like that, but it's getting ridiculous at that thing. It's like every practice day almost I'm breaking something on it. It seems like, anyway. So I'm definitely gonna switch brands eventually, probably if I stay into this, but figured I'd try it. As a kid, I always wanted to try to race RC cars, and now there's that track right now that factory RC raceway, and it's only like 10 minutes from my house, so I figured it'd be a good time to try it out. And so far it's been pretty fun. I mean, there's not a whole lot to do over the winter. If you look outside, it's snow on the ground, and it's been freezing cold for the last how many weeks now. So I'm gonna run this tomorrow, and then I'll give an update on what I think about the T7 versus like the T64 I drove and stuff, plus what I think about it versus the buggy and which one I'm gonna stick with for the future. Not sure yet, it's hard to say. The buggy's pretty dialed in, so it's gonna be it's gonna have to be pretty good, let's just say, for it to be as good as the buggy or better at this point. So if it is as good or better, that'd be cool, and I can just switch platforms and sell the buggy, and we'll go from there and see how I can do in stadium truck class versus buggy. But stay tuned for more updates on this. Probably be around the beginning of next week. I should know which one I'm keeping.